What's going on? What's going on? Just gonna play me some more chess. I'm trying to basically get my mind to overcome all obstacles. That's one of the things that I've been focusing on. Is overcoming all obstacles. What do I mean by that? Basically, being born in this country, as in the words of Stevie Wonder, you know, um, make me wish I was born in another place in time. Being black in America, in the world, being at basically the bottom. As far as this game that we play, right, of society, you have to come to the notion that you have to overcome all obstacles. And I'm reminded of that every day with the statistics that I do know about and the statistics that I'm reminded every single day. Not to say that I want to aspire to be an independent, agent of cause, but, as the saying goes, the best you can do to help someone that is already poor is not be poor yourself. So, in that vantage point, as far as overcoming all obstacles, definitely, no matter what, that should be the focus. I mean, if nothing else, if you couldn't help anyone else but yourself, just not being the one poor person will help basically somebody else that's already poor. They'll be looking at you as a shining example. You know, I can do this. I can, overcome it. This guy could overcome it. You know, I can overcome it. And that's one thing about me that I do like. I don't fault anybody, or I don't, say, oh, he took this point, or he took this talking point, or he is claiming this and claiming that. Because the thing about it is, the goal is basically, like I said, if someone is like, man, if this dude could do this, or you know, this dude can pretty much overcome these obstacles, then I could do it. That's the goal, because a lot of times what you already know, someone else can use it and do it way better than you ever did or ever could dream of. For example, I listened to a podcast called Earn Your Leisure, and they did a couple interviews with one of the most pivotal interviews they did so far that I noticed. I don't watch them all the time. Was they did an interview with um basically the I forgot his name. He's it's like Jay-Z's manager, but basically co-investor. I know the name, but I have to think about it. Um, give me just a second. I'll Google it. I'll Google it. Uh, Let me see here. Damon Dash. Okay. Yeah, Damon Dash. So yeah, I was watching an interview. First interview was pretty good. I remember the first interview definitely. Um, and And what Dame was talking about was that one of his proteges, pretty much Kanye West, Kanye West slayed dragons that Dame Dash dreamed that he could slay. I mean, he basically was the guy that they probably ragged on, that pretty much kind of like an intern, but just somebody that they knew was talented, but he wasn't already, he wasn't famous. It took a while for Kanye to actually become as famous as he is now. But what Kanye did, that he did things Damon Dash, uh, basically could never dream of doing. I mean, just he took what Damon Dash wanted to do and just took it to like new heights, man. Just climb mountains that Dame himself dreamed of climbing. This is his friend, this is his protege, label mate, okay, friend, you know. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, basically, if I'm making millionaires, that means that my book was a success. That means that what I say, even on my channel, is a success. Because basically, I took the lemons and I made lemonade. Now, another thing that I noticed is that, and I really don't really talk about too much. I mean, basically, I'm at the very core of me being financially challenged and trying to overcome, like I say, all obstacles. I am still I still have a very high class about myself. Some would say uh I'm bougie, right? I still feel, even no matter how humble I have to be, because of what I know primarily, and how cultured I am, how educated I am very high class. My aspirations are very high class. I would even say also that I am very comfortable around other people that are high class, because it's like people talk about Boyce Watkins, right? And Boyce Watkins actually is not too far from me. He moved to Chicago. He actually lives in Chicago now. Now I don't know how long he's been in Chicago. I have no idea. Okay, but He actually lives where I left Chicago with my family in the '80s. I lived in what is now called Bronzeville, but in the early '80s, it was actually called the Low End. It was the ghetto. Okay, the things I saw, I will take to my grave. Even being 4 years old, I mean, the violence that I saw, um, the violence that was inflicted on me. I mean, the things that I did, the things I seen my father had to do to survive, as far as like Finn, just other like all these other like wild people that we were surrounded by on a day-to-day basis. Hearing stories about like my father chasing some guy that broke in the apartment to steal a TV. You know, this is where I left, right? When my mom, on my birthday, literally, my mother, my mother's birthday present, my 5-year old birthday present, amongst a big wheel, was for me to move out of the ghetto. That was her present to me. back in 1985. Now, today, that same area, that building that my grandfather, I mean, basically my great great grandmother, okay, two-time great, right? She owned. It's leveled now. The building we all grew up in. It was eventually sold. Okay, my mother got some of the proceeds. My uncles, my aunt, right? That building was eventually leveled, but that area is no longer. It's just. This is what I mean by overcoming our obstacles. Being an optimist, because that same area, right? That same area that I live in, it was also called Bronzeville back in the 40s and 30s before, you know, Daily Senior started the projects in Chicago. Basically, he's pretty much his administration put in modern day CHA housing projects. Then, went from Bronzeville, 1930s, 1940s, black gangsters running numbers, the modern day old school lottery, because black people invented the lottery system. That's what you young people don't know. So they were running numbers. They were making so much money that the Italians and the Irish mob and the Jewish mob, they were like, we want in on it. Well, the black, basically black mob of Chicago, the number racket, right? They was like, no, you ain't getting no free handouts. You're not getting anything. So they had to make an example. They had to kill, shoot them up, bang bang, um, Tommy guns and all this other stuff. Because pretty much the difference between the 1930s and 40s with violence is that they had they had basically it was still violent in Chicago. It's just the people were more high class. They would shoot you up in fancy cars and suits. They'd have suits on and machine guns and and shoot you up out of a car. Whereas now, somebody, a typical shooter in Chicago would be have a t-shirt on and some jeans, maybe possibly even skinny jeans with a Gucci belt, maybe sagging. Okay, that's the modern day gangster versus 1930s, 1940s gangster. But I say all that to say, basically, it was called Bronzeville. Then black people were making a lot of money, and people made note of that. So, fast forward to today, that same area, 41st, 43rd, 44th, between King Drive and Cottage Grove, that area is called Bronzeville again. Okay, though those same buildings, the same building that my grandmother owned, $500,000. On King Drive, some of those old mansions, $1,000,000+, $1,000,000 buildings. Okay, it's not uncommon for some areas to be quote unquote the hood or the ghetto or low class, right? To actually be high class. Prime example of that didn't take that long was New Orleans. That might have been a plan, who knows? But New Orleans was pretty much the 2005 before Katrina. The housing prices was nowhere near what they were then and now. Okay, New Orleans now, the property values have skyrocketed, probably I want to say 5 to 10 fold. Okay, so it is not uncommon. It's rare, but it's not uncommon for low class neighborhoods or cities to go from being low class to being high class. New York, is another example of that, because a lot of areas in New York is very historical, where the property values were extremely low, and then it just skyrocketed. But at the very core of things is of my level of optimism and the things that I've learned in my life, I've stuck with it. And I think about the negative things that I've went through in my life, the negative times, the times where I had nothing, I had no car, no money, no millionaire savings plan idea, um, pretty much just very, very, very low means as far as things is concerned. And a lot of times it was just my left and right feet, and basically looking down and just basically just keep marching on. Um, that was not too long ago, actually. I've actually been in moments where I've lost a lot of everything, or just about everything, and I've had to come roaring back, right? So the thing about it is, I never lost all of the knowledge or books that I've read, and understandings that I've understood, research that I've researched, and all of that have led me, and constantly every day, um, it leads me to being that high class individual, no matter if I have no money. And the reason why I mentioned Boyce Watkins was because he put out a meme, and it's very funny. It's very comical to me. A rich man is really just a poor man with a lot of money. That's all. That's all a rich man is a poor man with a whole bunch of money. And it's just kind of hilarious, but yeah, it is true. I mean, the only difference between me actually being broke and me not being broke is that a bunch of zeros and ones, or basically commas and zeros. Okay. So, but even beyond that, I'm still high class. I still have high class mindsets. I have high class taste, high class understandings. I am very, very much considered to probably most black women, even black men, as a bougie, you know, whatever, right? I am. I pretty much been that way for a long time. Now, I also like bougie women, okay, and I get reminded of that every now and again, and I definitely do. I like higher class women. I don't like fake bougie. I don't like the whole whatever Megan Thee Stallion or classic ratchet bougie. There's no such thing as a classic and ratchet bougie person. Like, you're either one or the other. I mean, I don't get ratchet. It's not like I'm I'm pretty much either just, getting through a hard day, or getting through a hard time or week, and, trying to overcome, like I said, obstacles, but I'm not ratchet. Okay. You can't go from being ratchet and then going to being bougie. You're either one or you're the other. Okay. You're not going to go from being 85 octane and then jumping to 92 octane or 99 octane. It doesn't work like that. I mean, that is just absolutely insanity. But you young millennials and whoever, females, believe that shit, and it's absolutely hilarious. But the more classical women that I like, as far as they have an understanding of various different historical knowledges of history, art, understandings of world cultures, educated, knows how to, just basically advance women. Because basically, what is high class? An advanced individual, a higher tier individual that is advanced. I really, really like advanced women. Okay, basic women are okay, but I absolutely enjoy higher tiered, high class women. Okay, because the thing about it is, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with money, even though most high class people do have the money to go with it, right? So the thing is that, yeah, I mean, I have to say that, yeah, I might feel a little intimidated to step to a quote unquote high class woman, but I do like high class women. Now, I'm going to go into actually what I started off, and that's playing chess. That's what basically I'm going to go into, because, yeah, this is Chess Talk, Chess Nights, trying to get my chess game right. Um, I'm taking a break for the little, actually, what is this? Oh, this, I just didn't log in, so this is a guest on guest. Oh, this is very weird. So I forgot to log in, so this is like basically, so chess.com, they let you just play without actually having to log in. Okay. All right, cool. That's interesting. You know what? I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool though. So, anyways, we're gonna play a new game, live chess, and we're gonna get into it. But yeah, I mean, overcoming all obstacles is definitely something that I'm focusing on, because the thing about it is, it's a lot of obstacles to overcome. Because it's like, okay, the thing about it is, I actually thought when I was younger, I thought that it was gonna be easy actually becoming a millionaire, becoming rich. I thought it was gonna be rather easy, but it's not. I don't know why I thought it was gonna be easy, but nonetheless, I think it could have been a lot easier if I just basically, um, I think if I just basically did a lot of things, and because at the time, at one time or another, don't get me wrong, I was that picky guy. I was that guy that would complain about, oh, I don't want to do that. People will give me all of these ideas, and I'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. You know, that type of stuff. So I could definitely relate, to that. So, I definitely could relate to that. So, Yep. Yep. That was pretty good. Pretty good win. Yeah, this guy, he got, nah, he ain't really hit no much. Let's see, when did he join? Oh, he joined another COVID joiner. Yeah. Yeah, man. I like to think that a lot of times the people that I do play and I win, they will probably, some of these people are millionaires. Some of these people, if not nothing else, they got way more money than I have. And it's just something about it, man. You beat this person, you don't know who these people are. I mean, I've never really researched who I actually beat. Like I could, but these people don't give any details as far as who they are. Like I can be Google, but I mean, let's just say, all right, if I Google this name, I don't necessarily. This person probably doesn't have, maybe I don't know. Person doesn't necessarily have any any trails of his name, but I don't know. I don't think any. I don't know. I mean, technically, this person will have to be in. Damn, that's crazy. But this person will have to be in in Canada or something. But this person is definitely not in Canada. I don't think. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever. That was definitely an easy win. Definitely an easy win. No doubt. Yep. So, fee five-fold, who goes there? But yeah, I mean, basically, any win is a good win in my book. Definitely. My daughter, she like to play little games on my phone, and she be downloading some good stuff, man. She be downloading some stuff to help me out. She downloaded something about some chess. She must have learned a little something from her dad. But the app she downloaded was pretty good. It's pretty good. Like it was like a chess puzzle trainer or something like that. It's pretty good. But yeah, I just wanted, it was in my mind as far as things is concerns, like basically overcoming all obstacles is definitely something that I've been trying to work on, because the thing about it is I believe it's a lot of obstacles to overcome. It's quite a bit, you know, it's quite a bit of obstacles, you know, it's quite a bit. If you think about if you think about what you have to work with in comparison to other groups, other groups are playing the group game, and then black people are playing the independent game. You gotta pretty much gotta get into your mind to like basically form your own group of like-minded individuals, because you definitely can't do it by yourself and try to just whatever it takes to get with a either organization or a group, form a group, or like I call it the Wu-Tang theory, get with a sick tight clique and go all out. Get with a small group of people, 4 or 5 people, you know and then just go from there. Like, either way, I mean, just you doing it by yourself basically is it could be done, don't get me wrong, but you definitely gonna want to have some type of group to have some type of power or influence, you know or join some other group that's already in existence. And that's one or two options, but yeah, nonetheless, I mean, definitely, it's a lot of obstacles to overcome. Basically, I mean, that lack of opportunities is also an obstacle. Black people also don't support you. They don't. So, like, here's the thing, right? Now, I will say this, like, okay, I've done the business. I've opened up a business, so I've had a business as far as an actual store, actual physical location. Now it's a lot of things that I didn't do right. Okay, I've on my Patreon I talked about fully what I didn't do right. I might even, I don't know, it might be public on my YouTube page, but the thing about it is I actually have a case study as far as like black people supporting you in your own business endeavors. I can tell you the support, depending on it, good luck. Like 100% depending on it. Like, okay, my grandfather had a liquor store. Yeah, you need support, but not really, because liquor is like kind of like selling cigarettes, and he actually sold cigarettes too. Cigarettes, alcohol, you're gonna get people to buy that regardless. It's almost like selling drugs. I mean, you gonna make money off of selling. And actually, here's the thing. Here's the tripped out thing. I mentioned drugs, right? Drug dealers get all of the support. Now they get all the smoke too. Literally smoke. Like, I can literally I could fire up ChicagoSunTimes.com or Chicago Tribune, and it's somebody that got shot, right? Some dope boy got shot, right? But I mean, they do get a lot of support because, right, you gotta have heroin, because you don't get like, I learned about heroin probably like 15 years ago. I didn't even really know about heroin, right? I knew about crack, but I didn't know about heroin. Heroin, you gotta have it. It's like a prescription. Like, if you don't have it after so many days, you literally get what is called dope sick. So you literally have to. It's like you have a prescription, and your local dope dealer literally has your subscription, which is some more heroin. I found that out by a dude that was in around my grandparents' neighborhood, that he was dope sick, and I gave him some money, and I felt bad for him, but that was like my education into dope. Like, I didn't know that how that actually worked, and then I saw the methadone clinics on the far south side, like what is called the Wild Hundreds, and I remember back when I used to go to like masjids and temples and whatnot. Well, maybe basically masjid, right? So I was going for like Friday prayer, and across the street from the masjid, it was like just a small storefront. I was asking one of the brothers, I was like, what is going on across the street? Why is them people leaning over like that, just standing outside? Oh, he like basically those people are they recovering drug addicts. They going to get their methadone shot. They gotta have their methadone shot or they gonna relapse and go back to actual heroin. And I think who did I talk to about this? I talked to somebody else about this that basically they have different drugs other than methadone now, but even after a heroin addict recovers from actual methadone, I mean from heroin, they have to take some form of basically prescription heroin to actually recover. To be in recovery, their recovery requires them to actually take some type of synthetic heroin, not so much synthetic, I want to say medicinal heroin, such as methadone, to actually wean themselves slowly off of heroin. And some of them have to take it longer than others. And if they literally don't take it, and even if they do take it, they're at risk of having another relapse, such as they'll go get actual street heroin and just be, back to shooting up heroin. And yeah, crack, weed. I mean, yeah, dope dealers, quote unquote, Pookie and Ray Ray, they do get they get all of the support from all kinds of people because people get high. The cartels in South America, in Mexico, they get so much money because America has a fetish for drugs. They love drugs. I was talking to a guy that I work with. He's security guard. He said basically he didn't say he do it now, but you gotta imagine. I mean, he didn't give me no timeline either. He said he's pretty much sniffs coke. He sniffed coke. He said, basically he done sniffed coke so hard one time that he was over his sister's house, and he about the same age as me, but younger, probably late 30s. He said he sniffed coke so hard that he woke up in a pool of blood rushing from his nose. And I'm like, damn. I mean, but I already know how, white folks I already know white folks are very experimental with drugs per se. Like primarily, most of the cases, black people tend to smoke a lot of weed. But don't get me wrong, I'm literally in Chicago right now. I could drive right around. I could get in my car, drive around, and I'll see people walking around. And most of those people, 9 times out of 10, they're if they're not like catching a bus coming from work or going to work because they work the night shift, they're on crack. They're walking around head down with like old ass clothes on. What I mean by old ass clothes is they got on like some FUBU or some cross colors or some shit like that. Like they got old 90s clothes on, walking around outside. They're crackheads. But thus again, dope boys get a lot of support business wise, but it's because you gotta have you gotta support them. They're in a business, underground business. That they gotta get support. They get support no matter what because you gotta smoke crack. The dude I work with or whatever works at the same company I work for as a contractor. He said he also tried crack. He said he smoked crack like once or twice, and he said basically it's an instant high. He felt really, really good for a short amount of time. But the thing is that yeah, black people do get high too. Black people use drugs too. You know, so it's not like it's just the white boys, it's just the white folks. No, black people get high, just It's a whole bunch of black crackheads in Chicago and heroin addicts. You know, cokeheads. All of that. But the thing is that a lot of the underground economy as far as drugs is concerned. Just look at it. Just say that they're businessmen, underground businessmen. They get a lot of support. They get support, forced support from other people that have to buy their product for whatever reason, or want to. But as far as me actually having an actual business that was not involved in, I didn't have, I I didn't have a liquor store. I didn't sell cigarettes. Even though like the thrift store next to me, that dude sold everything damn near that he can get his hands on, to survive basically. Um, I've been in business. I've had a physical location. I had a computer shop in the ghetto, in the quote unquote hood of Chicago. I have full scale. I'm not just some person talking. I have anecdotal, full scale understanding. Not even anecdotal. I know other business shop owners that basically, yeah, it is very difficult conducting business around black people, primarily poor black people, but black people in general, because they don't have the same group mindset as others. They don't think like that. Like Africans do. Africans are very group minded, traditionally, right? But African Americans, nah. They're only group minded when it's something other, like for example, one thing I noticed is the police brutality situations where everybody just was like, you know what, we about to riot and loot. That was a group minded effort, right? But see, here's the funny thing about that, right? This is what I posted on the social media platforms. Those same people that riot and loot, right? They don't even support black businesses. They say it. I'm seeing right now. It's the same mindset. They're just shopping at regular multi corporational franchises, or not so much franchises, but stores such as Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. These are multi-billion-dollar corporations. Don't even, like, when you pass a Family Dollar in the hood or a dollar store, don't think, oh, it's just beneath me, or it's just like it's just a dollar store. These look up the stock price for Family Dollar, Dollar General, which is the same company as Dollar Tree. I mean, you wouldn't even be able to afford to buy one share, let alone 10 or 100. I'll just say that. These are multi-billion-dollar corporations. Okay, Dollar Tree alone, you would have to. It's probably valued at 100 billion, 200, $300 billion. Don't, I mean, you looking at it being in the hood is, or whatever, in a poor, quote unquote, poor community, it doesn't even matter. I mean, these are $1 billion corporations. When I pass by Family Dollar and all that, yeah, the clerk in the store, the cashier is probably rude and pissed off and ratchet, whatever, but that's $1 billion corporation. Okay. It's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Dollar Tree, Dollar General, okay, Five Below, all of that. So the thing, what I'm getting at is these the same mindset. Just I'm going to these stores, I'm buying, I'm buying, and then I'm walking right past Mr. Brotherman, but you only care about Mr. Brotherman when he got a bullet, because, or he's dead on the street because of a cop, and the only reason you're actually care is because you actually want some free shit. You just, instead of like you actually having to go get Pampers and whatever you got to get that day, you just get it for free. You use that pass of him getting shot to get some free shit today. I mean, the month later, you walk past that same brother man, sister woman, whatever, and don't support them. And then here's how the logic goes. I'm not saying that you should support black businesses, because the thing about it is, it's like, it's still competitive. If you have in business, you have two things. You have either superior customer service, very, very good customer service, or a very good service or product that you sell. Now, what a lot of people do, and I've done it myself, right? Because I've struggled with actually being able to have products, because products cost money, and when you don't have that much money as a fledgling, struggling business owner, you have to kind of have very, very exceptional customer service. Now, a lot of those businesses in the ghetto, the complaints are, they have very bad customer service, right? The Indian shop owners, Pakistani, Bengali, or Yemenis, Arabian, Palestinian, Saudi Arabian, because people lump all of these people as Arabian or Arabs, as they say, and they're not Arabs. They come from different segments of the Arabian Peninsula, or even so much even Arabian people of the world, right? You got if you just lump Arabs all with one another, you don't get the general understanding of who these people are, because someone from Algeria is different from someone from Lebanon, from Palestine, from freaking Saudi Arabia, Turkey. Even though they don't call themselves necessarily Arabian, they call themselves Turkish. But I mean, basically, all of these countries are primarily Arabic speaking countries. Yeah, they have a common lineage and religional history, as well as a language that they all speak. But they're all different countries. I when I go in these places, I don't look at them as Arabs. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a Palestinian flag. A Palestinian is a little different history and story as a Saudi Arabian, or someone from Kuwait or Iraq or Iran, or wherever. And it's like, yeah, I mean, they might have like bad customer service, and then their product is not really that great either. But you give them all of your money because you kind of have to, because you're lumped into this, box of a neighborhood and society, and type of lower tier, struggle, disenfranchised, you know living environment, or actual struggle, personal struggle. But yeah, these guys have bad customer service, bad products, you know but the thing about it is, some people even deal with those types of people, and they don't necessarily have to. And that's the funny thing about it. I laugh at stuff like that, because um I talked to other guys that were shop owners, and it's like, why would you even, instead of, because like in Chicago, you have, what's funny about it is that, in let's just say 79th Street, you have a couple wholesale distributors that those same shop owners, they get their candy, chips, pop, and everything from food items from, right? Big wholesale distributorship, right? And it's right off of the highway, like on like 71st and State Street. Instead of you just going to, you know, Ahmed, let's just say Ahmed, and going to go see Ahmed, the local, corner store guy, to get your chips and your, candies and whatnot. You go right to the wholesale distributorship that he gets his shit from, that is walk-in access. Everyone can go walk in there. You use your little food stamp card instead of, because see, here's the thing that a poor person does that a rich person doesn't necessarily do, a wealthy person or anyone that wants to get out of that mindset. You don't think day to day. You know, typical poor person thinks day to day because it's just kind of a habit. It's what you taught. It's just your own survival. You know, I'm not gonna open up Maslow's, but on that bottom tier, you're so used to surviving, you think day to day like a person that is kind of in a battlefield that's surviving a war. You're just thinking day to day. Well, if you went and just thought week to week, start thinking week to week, you take your food stamps, you go to that same public warehouse that also takes food stamps, by the way. Instead of buying one bag of chips, you buy a whole box. And that's for all of your family members. Y'all buy 2 boxes. And then buy a whole case of pop. Basically, you think in bulk, right? Because see, the thing about it, even Dave Ramsey and the whole like baby steps, right? He say before you even get to the first baby step, you got to make sure everything is squared away. The basics is squared away, such as you have food and stuff like that. Because basically, you want to be able to not have to go to the restaurant or go to the grocery store every day, because you ultimately want to have a whole bunch of food and everything in your house so you can start saving money, right? So it's the same concept. It's like, okay, you have all of these chips and pops and everything and candies in your house. You ain't got to go see Ahmed every day because you got the same shit Ahmed got and at a lower price because you got it in bulk, you know. And the funny thing is, I know people that know people that know people, right? So that same wholesale house, guess who they get their shit from? Sam's Club. I mean, believe it or not. But okay, all that aside, it's just okay. The thing about it is they deal with that type of stuff and they walk right past the brother man and sister woman man. I'll just say sister women man, yeah. All right. And they don't support them. And brother man and sister woman man basically is how business work is commercial is very, very much of a science. It's very, very, let's just say it's very, very important. Commercial is very, very important. I'll repeat that. Commercial is very, very important. So you could go drive in a neighborhood and you see the commerce, right? If you see the commerce, as far as the stores that are in the neighborhood, you drive down the streets, there's a whole bunch of stores. That's a thriving neighborhood. Now, primarily the commercial establishments, if it has the actual people that actually live in the neighborhood, that's another thing. I'm talking about the people that actually live in the neighborhood reflect the commercial environment. A lot of the ghettos that does not reflect such. Well, only a small segment does. Like, for example, when I had my computer shop, I reflected my skin complexion or ethnicity uh reflected the community. Even though don't get me wrong, it probably didn't, because I had a what's going on, Iori? I had on basically a kufi. I had on a kufi and I looked like a black Muslim dude, right? So yeah, I didn't necessarily reflect the community around me because like I'm black, but I'm not black like everybody else in America. I'm a little bit. I'm like the 1% of the population reflection, because Muslims are only, as far as I checked, is only about, I think, 1% of the population. It's no higher than 10. I don't even think it's 10% of the population. But the thing is that yes, I didn't necessarily, as that aspect, I didn't like um quote unquote reflect 100% of the community around me. But I mean, yeah, I was African American as far as that is concerned, but I still didn't get the support, and a lot of other shop owners struggle with support as well, because they don't care. Like, they're not playing the same game. It's not the group. They're not playing. Black people typically are not playing the group game. Okay, that why it's not is that's a whole nother freaking rabbit hole for a whole nother day. But they just don't. The pretty much it is what it is. They don't play the group game. And it's hilarious to me now because I'm older. I'm kind of a little more dark about things. I accept it, but it's funny because it's like you claim you want jobs and you claim you want this, this, and this. Well, you don't know how it works. It works by basically commerce. You don't have no exceptions. It's the Borg, like in Star Trek. You're in business no matter what. If you got a job, you work for a business. If you have a business, of course, you are in business. But either way, one or another, you have no choice. You're in business in some form of a fashion, whether you like it or not. Unless you just don't want to work, and then you got to accept all the smoke that comes with not wanting to work or not wanting to make that much money or whatever the case may be. So businesses hire people to work for them, keyword work, and the word work comes from war. Just say work and then put in war in it. Okay, because that's what work is. Work is a war. Business is war. And work is the same. Because that I'm going into etymology. You gotta. I don't call myself the broke genius for nothing. You gotta understand these words. These words are very, very powerful. So basically, yeah, black people don't understand work. They don't understand work. But the thing is how do you get this work? I ain't talking about drugs. I ain't talking about, yeah, I mean, Pookie and Ray Ray get all of the support because, yeah, you gotta buy your heroin. They got customers that are gonna constantly keep coming back because they have to. If you smoke crack, you gotta, like my ex-wife, her mom used to smoke crack. It took her 10 years. She had relapses and all that type of shit. I mean, if you smoke crack, you got to get some more crack. It's a constant cycle until you can kick the habit, right? They got pills, they got coke, heroin, and weed, right? And they got all the support that you could possibly get because they got a lot of stuff that you gotta have or you want to have, right? So yeah, they get a lot of support. They get the most support in the black community. That's why people always constantly talk about drug dealers and Pookies and Ray Rays and the dope boys and stuff like that, because they're the ones that in the hood, they're the rock stars and the stars of the hood. They the ones driving by in brand new luxury foreign cars and very expensive domestic cars, and have money and chains and stuff like that, and everybody knows, okay, that's Pookie. He sells on this block. He run that block and all of this other stuff, right? because yeah, you gotta they're selling a product that you gotta have. My grandfather sold a product that most people wanted. They didn't have to have, but yeah, I mean he did. It was a lot of alcoholics that he sold to. Okay, I mean selling liquor, you got a product that also people are addicted to. It is alcoholics. Okay, Alcoholics Anonymous is active and well and huge. So, I wasn't into. I didn't sell alcohol, so it was very difficult for me to sell computers and offer services in the ghetto. You know, and then I later, before I closed my doors, got into cell phones late. I'm not gonna make excuses. I came up with a system that basically allowed me to basically survive. I'm not gonna never say I thrived. There was never a moment that I was thriving, but I was able to survive. And how I was able to survive basically was, I mean, I'll tell you one company is how I was able to survive, and it was eBay. That was how I was able to basically survive in this shop because the black support was minimal, right? It just wasn't. The funny thing with me was, and I'm very well thinking about doing things such as resurrecting my actual business and starting it over, because if I open up, I could probably be the king of the mountain right now, which I was ultimately, and a lot of personal matters reared its ugly head, and ultimately I closed my go. The customers that would come to me, they would go to Best Buy and they would buy a computer brand new. Then it will break down, and then it'll come to me. They'll come to me to fix it. And then there'll be all of the complaints and all of this other stuff. But they, couldn't afford to go take it to Best Buy and get it fixed. So they would come to me. But the thing is that, yeah, I mean, the Best Buy ultimately closed. So things kind of went, the way they went, and I ended up closing my door. But yeah, I remember being like, broke as hell, man, in this computer shop, just like some days I didn't make any money at all. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I here? And then coming up with a system basically to, basically use my store to basically as a warehouse to just sell on eBay, basically, and just literally just boxing up merchandise and then going to the postal office and shipping it out. That was how I was able to survive for quite a while in my store, But the support was almost non-existent, and it's no different. I mean, because the thing about it is, it's a lot of different reasons, right? But the thing is that these same people that want to riot and complain, and they come up with a group mindset when somebody, quote unquote, gets afflicted, it's a reason why they want to riot and loot and shit, because they want some free shit. It's a reason to get some free shit. It has nothing to do with any unity. You fuck with us and then you got something to pay for. Some of it, I will agree, is about that, but the thing is and not everyone, is on that type of stuff. It is black people that do have mindsets like myself, and if not better, but the people that qualify for the hurt dogs that will holler from my words is who I'm speaking to. Yet at the same time, it's like pretty much the reason why the hood is the way it is because just black people don't know the group game. They don't understand that group game, and that's what I mean, that I have to overcome these obstacles. Okay, I have to overcome, I have to train my mind to constantly learn, constantly refresh and renew, and try to overcome all of these obstacles. I have to be, this person to overcome all of these obstacles, all of these traps as well. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily concern myself with the police, but I mean, I get it. I'm in this country, and you know, people don't necessarily like me because I exist. I mean, it's like basically I'm used to it, because I basically, it's three ways that you cannot like me. And I'm so used to the hate. I'm so used to being hated on that I absorb it very well. Because you can hate on me because I'm a man, I'm black, and I'm also, you can tell by my name that I am not. I get asked, if I had $1 for every time I was asked, was I born in this country? One, or two, where I'm from, such as not like where you're from, like as far as Chicago, because people typically, if they know you're from Chicago or they know you're from Illinois, they don't ask you where you're from. If I had $1 for every time I've asked that, I would have a whole bunch of money. I'd have enough money to really fund my Robin Hood challenge, to where it'll be a lot more than what it is. But the thing is that, yeah, I would have a lot of money, you know. And why that is because, yeah, I mean, my name is synonymous from basically you know, those people that, you call, Arabs or whatever, those people, so I got three ways that you can hate me. And it's like, and then another thing is, yeah, I mean, I'm also like tall and big and everything like that, and I mean, but that's associated with black men anyway. But all of the smoke that comes from that, you know, um, type of stuff, get hated on or whatever. I mean, I'm used to it, so it's a lot of hate that I have to, that I endure, but I don't really think about it. I'm like, oh damn, I got to deal with the hate today when I walk out. I don't think about that shit. I don't lose any sleep over it. It's just I do have to overcome and deal with a lot of this stuff. Now, how I deal with it is basically, I don't necessarily deal with it. I'm just very, very high class. I know that I'm most like, some people be like, I hear people online and even stuff like, don't ever ask me don't ever come to me and be like, what do you think? You think you smarter than me? You think you better than me? Because basically what I'll say is that, yeah, I do. And the fact that you actually would bring that up is you already thinking it. Because so as the man thinketh, so he actually believeth. I mean, so don't ever come to me and be like, so what, you think you smarter than me because you went to school and all? Yeah, I do. Actually, that's how that works. Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. And yeah, do you think are you smart? Yes, I can prove it. Let's have a how I would prove it is basically, we would do we'd do an IQ test. We would do a live IQ test. Whoever gets the highest score wins whatever you want to put your money up to. And I promise you, I'll probably beat you. Because, yeah, you think you smart? Yes, I do. I very well much do. Okay, so yeah, don't come at me like that, because I seen people be like, no, I don't, no, don't. Yeah, I'm gonna be the first person to say yes, I do. Yeah, okay, because yeah, but the thing is that all of that aside, um, yeah, I mean, it's a science. It's a science to this shit. So it's levels to this, you know. And the level to it is that commerce creates jobs, pays taxes in the community to the it's a huge tax base. Commerce is a huge tax base. The taxes pay for everything within the community. It's commercial flow of capital of capital of actual, let's just say, monies that flows throughout the entire area, the entire town, or city. That's very, very much important. Okay, those businesses fund other endeavors in the community. I mean, it's very, very much important. Okay, a business actually, the money that you create is paying for someone's kid to go to college, paying for someone to buy a building or a house, buy their actual, like, because if you have a business, what, you're paying rent. You don't want to pay rent forever. You want to buy the building. Like my friend, he sold oils. He was paying rent. It's his place, paying like $1,500 in rent, and then he's also paying rent his house, right? And he literally was down the street with some Bengali guys. They had an oil shop, but they had two brothers that they put their money together. His brother didn't put his money together. And the funny thing is, my friend's brother they're actually fraternal twins. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of issues. Everybody does, but we got some very, very bad issues. We never it was never any like therapy or any type of repair from chattel slavery. And slavery was only 170 years ago, 160 years ago. Was just like, pat on the back, sharecropping, Jim Crow, lynchings, uh, you know, all of the hell that we had to face for the last, like, in this country, and still facing. It's like basically it was never any like therapy. The only therapy that it was ever, you could say, was ever, kind of given was through religion, through organizational triumphs, such as, organizations that black people have joined and stuff like that. And just, religious, endeavors and stuff like that. That's about it. Self therapy, but it was never any like, couch time. Unless you actually paid the money yourself to go sit on the couch, it was literally no, it's like, repair that was actually done with that. It's like, just got to be strong and then just overcome it. And, it just was a long time ago, but, it's like people, I kid you not, it's people that still have, one of the reasons why black people have the mindset that they have with as far as not having the group mindset and shit like that is because of this plantation. It's literally slave minded. There's people that still have slave minds, basically. There's a lot of black people in 2020 that still have the mind of basically the slave, the house slave, and the field slave. They literally still have that same mindset because it's passed on intergenerationally. Your grandfather, your grandparents, your parents, and then they teaching you the same mindset. Get a job, get a job. A job is a slave. That's a slave. Basically, go be a slave. When your parents say get a job, they're really telling you something that their parents told them and their grandparents told them hundreds of years ago. Notice how people say get a job, which is not wrong. It's nothing wrong to get a job, right? Because if they said get a job so you can start a business, that's different. Okay, when you say get a job to start a business, that's what a lot of times people actually go do. Okay, but if you just say get a job and then you leave it at that, what are you telling your children? Telling your children to just go be a slave. So this is why, and then also just the overall slave mindedness. I'm not gonna go into all of that, okay? You know, but the thing is that that same, field nigga, field slave, field, house nigga type stuff. Black people still have that. They still have that today. And you gotta, you can repair it, but if you don't understand that you have a problem, you ain't gonna repair nothing. You gotta read, enhance your mind. Read like conscious books, like From Niggas to Gods, Part 1, Part 2. I mean, all books like that. Like, I mean, when I started reading books, that was what took me from being, a low level individual to being a higher level individual. And it don't stop, I mean, so much so that, I never really thought, I was actually gonna be an author. I never really thought I was gonna write no book. It wasn't something that I planned on doing. It just something that came up. But the thing about it is that I just had a good plan, and it was just something that I had to just I had to bring it out into full spectrum, and I haven't even really even done that. But I mean, the book was just part of the mix, and I didn't want nobody to steal my ideas, so I had to just jump off of it because real quick. Because a lot of times people will steal my ideas and stuff, and then you know I mean, I'm okay with it per se, but then certain things I'm kind of like not okay because this is like a big deal to me. The Millionaire Savings Plan definitely was a big deal to me. It might seem, yeah, it might seem like, I don't really know what people make it seem to be, but it was something that I felt that the need to just kind of get my gun off first, so nobody else snatches it up. So I could put myself in the ranks of the millionaire next door and stuff like that. But those guys, they actually they got with brokerage book houses and self-published and stuff like that, and did it really, really big. I mean, I did it basically. Everything I did was through basically very, very low investments. I mean, it was very low cost investments, which is fine because that's pretty much. I mean, I try to be frugal as I possibly can. Sometimes to my own detriment, because I'm gonna talk about that. In the future video, I'm gonna talk about being penny wise. It's called being penny wise and dollar foolish. Basically, like saving something or buying something that's cheap, right? When you can pay like a little bit more money, and then you will get so much out of it. Like, for example, my phone broke. I was initially thinking about buying some little cheap phone, cheap Android phone, and I know better, not to do stuff like that because I always, I remember being, the whole adage of being penny wise, dollar foolish. Because if I would have did that, I would have had a lot of issues conducting the things that I do in business and just overall. And I just spent a little bit more money and got a better phone that I could actually do a lot of different things that I wouldn't have been able to do with the little cheap little kitty Android phone. So it's stuff like that, like losing out on a lot of things being cheap. That's what penny wise dollar foolish is. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that all of these things that I'm talking about is overcoming obstacles. I mean, trying to overcome these obstacles, it's something that I definitely understand that there is obstacles. It's not easy. Okay. I don't know. I don't know exactly how many black millionaires there are in America. Okay. I don't know the statistics per se. I did have them, but what I did research is that basically, statistically, it's like literally, I don't know per se, but let's just say that out of 100,000 people, off the top of my head, because I remember I posted this, out of 100,000 people, it might be about 14 out of 100,000 that might be a millionaire. 14 out of 100,000. Okay, versus other groups, it's not. It's a lot less of a disparity. So it's extremely rare. It's extremely rare. It's not something that's common. Like people think a lot of these women, going, they think that actually is high value men that's running around everywhere, right? Because they watching TV too much. They're watching because see the thing about watching TV, okay, TV is entertainment. Okay, so if you're watching a movie, a TV show, even reality TV is very much scripted. Okay, these people that you watch on TV is providing entertainment. The rappers, the singers that do these videos, the cars are rented, the jewelry is rented, the clothes are just basically, some even the clothes are rented, right? There's production companies that they actually already have clothing. You pay a deal, you pay some money to a production company. They provide all of these props. They provide all of these, things to, clothing and everything to shoot a music video. Okay. In the luxury cars and stuff like that. These people, they give you the illusion that they're rich, right? They're not rich. And so you think that, damn, every, you know, J Ryan, he just did a music video. He had a Bentley in a music video, but J Ryan just borrowed the car from Pookie that sell dope up, on this block in his neighborhood. It's not his car. He just used it to do a music video. So um what's going on? What's going on? So yeah, I mean basically that's the deal with this. Like, you have the perception, a lot of these people have the perception, it's primarily women. I think black men know how hard it is. They know that it's not 100K dudes running everywhere. Black women think that primarily, more than actually black men. Black men know that they know how hard it is. They know it's no like 100K dudes everywhere because they know they friends out of their friends, especially when you're younger, might be one dude or a couple dudes that they might be in that category. Maybe not even one. I remember when I was in my early 30s, it might have been like a few guys that made 50K, let alone 100K. Like maybe now it's quite a few of my friends that make that, but most make somewhere between 50 to 60, maybe 70. And that's from probably working a job and then having a side business, not just from one job. My own uncle only makes 60 something, and he just worked. He has a state job that he's had for over now about 30 years now. He don't even make 100K. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, like, because of, I guess because of how plentiful money flows through women and how they see on TV and everything, and maybe through, I don't know, whatever they think in their own lenses from the clubs they go to and whatever, they think guys are just plentiful that make 100K plus. And not even white men make 100K like that. Like, even white dudes don't even make 100K that easy. You know, 100K is like a mid-level manager in corporate America, or higher tier manager or executive. Okay, a state employee that's like, you know, you got a bachelor's degree and you got some experience, and you started at like class 1, and then you get promoted to class 3, and then you make 100K. Like, I mean, principal, to be a principal at a school, right? You make 100K. The teachers don't make 100K. The principal does. Okay, assistant principal, administrator of a school system makes 100K. I mean, it's a very higher tier job that pays $100,000, unless like you're, now it's different levels to it. Like, yeah, you can be a salesman. A salesman makes commission. You can be a millionaire salesman. You know, yeah, that's what my mom used to say. You got champagne taste but beer money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, my mother, at the height of her career, she made, my uncle said she made about 90,000, and that's because she worked her job, and then she was like a tutor after school. So she had to work 2 jobs to do that. And she, it's like, man, I mean, they're not passing out $100,000 jobs like that. Now, it's certain sectors and careers that you can go into to make $100,000. Don't get me wrong. Okay. And then, you could, I mean, what do you, okay, for example, like to be a senator, a congressman, yeah, even, even congressmen don't even like their base salary. Like, look up the base salary of a U.S. congressman. I mean, it might, I don't even think it's $100,000 to be example. Like to be an alderman in Chicago, the aldermen in Chicago don't even make $100,000. So it's like this freaking mirage of mindset of conceptual thinking that, men, just say men, or definitely black men. If you think that, okay, just think about it. Black people are just, I mean, unfortunately, the underclass of America. Okay, everybody looks down. And this is what I thought about today. Everybody looks down on black people. Everybody, when they even come here, they talk to look down on black people. Okay, it is what it is. And even black people look down on black people, right? So you think basically that black dudes make 100K if white dudes don't even make 100K like that? Like, they just getting 100K jobs just out the rip? No, right? So what makes you think that black dudes making 100K that easy? So it's like this mirage of, just like I say, this whole culture of watching Love and Hip Hop and all this other bullshit. When them dudes, them Love and Hip Hop, them, like, man, one thing I'll say, man, I watch I mean, not watch, but I go on these gossip sites a lot. And one thing about these gossip sites that I like is they keep up with the kind of, I mean, some of them is rumors, but a lot of them is they showing receipts. So it's not necessarily a rumor, because one thing about these reality stars that they've been showing, such as, like, shout out to Media Takeout, or whatever, they show that, okay, so yeah, this reality star, she's getting evicted. This reality star, he got evicted 2 years ago. This is the repo man in front of this reality star's house, repoing her car. Or, both of them, men and women, getting their cars repoed, getting evicted. They're showing foreclosure filings in the court system with their name on it. They pull all of that evidence up, and they show that these people, they pretend on camera that they're rich or they're well off. They're broke pretenders, because the reality shows, they don't pay that much money. They might pay them, let's just say, $15,000 an episode. I might even be generous. They might only pay like $5,000 an episode, and then you have to pay taxes. So you're not getting all of that money. And then, basically, if you're spending too much high on the hog, which a lot of them do, because they actually believe that they actually have money, and nobody told them anything different. And then they get in, these situations where they can't pay the rent and they can't pay the mortgage and yada, 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 and there you go. And it's like, basically, these people are actually following these people, watching these people, and they believe these people actually have money, and they don't. And then they go out and they live their life, and they actually try to mimic what they see from these rap videos, from these reality TV shows, where they're pretending they're putting on a show that they actually have something that they don't have, which is money. And then guess what? Now you out here like taking L's because you think it's a whole bunch of 100K dudes running around, which statistically, I mean, as far as black men, it's only 1%. If you make 100K and you're a black male, you're in the 1% as far as your group, as far as earnings. Now, I think white males is like 10%, but black males, you're in the 1%. So one dude you go in the club, it's one dude at the bar, but you don't know who he is, that make 100K. Everybody else just make anywhere between, they ain't got no job, no money, to 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 on up. And it's one dude in the club, but you ain't noticing him because he probably got on a regular ass outfit and probably look like a square from Delaware. And you know what I'm saying, he just drinking at the bar by himself. But you know what I'm saying, you think all these dudes in the club make 100K. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, that's not. See, that's one thing I had to learn, statistics basically. One thing about statistics is it kind of helped me understand what the game is. What is this? What am I working with here? What am I actually working with? And it's like, okay, yeah, black people have $1 trillion. Right, exactly. The president don't even make $1 million. Yeah, the president's salary is still standard, like $400,000. President's salary a year ain't even $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, yeah, I mean, the thing is that statistically, yeah, black people have $1 trillion, but white people have $22 trillion. And yeah, I play dice in the hood, and we used to always talk about, And I've been talked about, and I talked about other people. You coming in this game with this hot ass dollar. Yo, get your hot dollar ass up out of here. Cause cats used to be like, they'll be like, man, we shooting for $5 and $10. Because they ain't want no hot dollar ass dude to come in the dice game and then hit a lick. Because all you gotta do is keep rolling, right? You take that hot dollar, next thing you know, you got $5 and $10, and then now you got 20 and more than more. And then next thing you know, you done hit a whole bunch of cats' pockets. We in high school, and I definitely didn't grow up in no rich town. So, you took some man, the average cat got like $10 in his pocket, might have 20, might only have 5. You done came with this hot dollar and smoke somebody, got they $5 from their pocket. They don't want to shoot with you. But the thing is that not only can you probably can't get in the dice game. How many times? I don't know how many times I done had a hot dollar and I done lost it. Cause as soon as you crap out, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So, you hit them sevens again out. On the second row after you done hit your point and you crapped out. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you got a hot dollar compared to $22, and you're trying to play the we're even game. We're not even. You got a hot dollar compared to somebody that got a whole $22. It's a difference, big difference. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all think this is even, Steven, and it's 100K guys like hanging out everywhere. Yeah, man. I would never play dice on the streets again. I probably wouldn't do it. In my town, I grew up in the town called Dalton, Illinois, and this back in the late 90s, they was robbing the dice games, and I knew who robbed the dice games, but I ain't never say who did it, but I knew who did it. You know what I'm saying? And it was like 2 brothers that did it. And it was like they used to rob the dice games because a whole bunch of people in the dice game with a whole bunch of money, they trying to rob that dice game. But the thing is that, I know people still shoot dice in the hood, but nah, only time I shoot dice is at the casino. I will not, man. That's a way, man. I done seen people, man, when I even be in the high school, cats, they ain't want to pay up, they'll fight you. And then, the dice games got robbed. And then, plenty of fights and stuff, man. Hell no, I would never shoot dice, man, outside of a freaking secure environment such as a casino. I don't even know if that's secure, but I get it. I think that, I understand the logic, but I'm a little bit too older, man. I done got comfortable, and it's like, I don't know. I didn't even I seen on Facebook a super dice game. This was like, man, I seen cats, man. They was like, I don't know what they were doing. They probably was selling dope, but it was a mix of people, man, that was shooting dice, and he was older cats, and they was shooting big money. They had 20s, 100s, 50s, 10s, and everything, and they was shooting. I'm talking about cats was walking. Was one cat, he walked away with probably like $2, $3, $4, $5,000, like shooting somewhere in the hood, and it was and then the car he got in some like newer Audi truck, like brand new Audi truck, and the dude on the video was like, that was shooting the video, he was like, let me hold some. He's like, man, I got locked up, man. You ain't put nothing on my books. Nah, man. mean, he's like, maybe later, maybe later. I'm like, damn, I never seen no dice game with that much money in the hood. I mean, I was in high school, so it was like most I seen probably like $400 or $500, but them cats was shooting. They was shooting yards, But yeah, I probably will never shoot dice on the street. I mean, I just that. I mean, I come from humble beginnings, man. I come from the hood, but I'm definitely a lot more bougie, man, than I ever would be. I ever was when I was in the hood, and I was bougie when I was in the hood, but I was in the hood. I mean, it wasn't even really the hood. It was getting that way, but I mean, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's just it's a lot of stuff to overcome, man. It's a lot of stuff to overcome. I'm gonna try to play another game of chess. Because like I say, I mean, I like higher class women. Like I said again, I mean that is definitely what I like. Either high class women or someone that I can mold and teach, to be higher class. That's the one or the other, basically. You know. Oh, this is Japanese. Japanese. Let me see here. Let me share my screen. But yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff to overcome, man. Being black in America, most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, I ain't one for excuses. I mean, you just gotta know the game. You gotta know what you're working with. If you know what you're working with, you know what you gotta do. I mean, it's like another thing that I heard, right? It's like don't blame the spider for creating a web, right? It's like the quote unquote place where they sell and make the drugs is the trap house, right? People know it's a trap. They know it's a trap. They call it such, a trap house, right? They know it's a trap. But why is it a trap? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a trap for it's a lot of reasons, and it ain't just because of the police will raid you or whatever. It's one thing. The reason why I never sold drugs, or I never really never been in no gang or nothing. One of the reasons I never sold drugs is because it's too many people that's trying to kill you in that particular line of work or business per se, right? It's just too many people that's trying to come at your head. I mean, it's entirely way too many people. You got to deal with the police. You got to deal with other drug dealers trying to take your product and try to take your life and try to basically uh you know you got the dope heads or whatever people you selling drugs to. They trying to take your drugs and trying to set you up too. And then the police, and man, it's too much to deal with, man. That's it's a lot of like, basically uh responsibility or things to look out for or whatever. Like it's just kind of crazy. Like, I mean, like that's just too much involved with that. But then shoot, is what's interesting is that Seattle, they just basically they made everything legal. They created an Amsterdam type of environment. It's gonna be interesting to see. They said not only is weed legal, everything is legal to a certain extent. That's very, very interesting. Because then you ain't, you basically you taking you taking the street. I mean, the reason why it's drug dealers is because you know you can't buy, if you could buy crack at Walgreens, you just go to Walgreens and buy your crack, right? I mean, the thing about it is it's not legal. So you got to buy it from a street guy that gets his drugs primarily from the cartels. I mean, that's pretty much probably one of the reasons why they trying to do this. They trying to get this get these cartels up off of them. Because if you don't if you can just get drugs anywhere and it's legal, you know, basically it makes it where it's not necessarily illegal. So then anybody, then pharmaceutical companies can get in the, it'll be like Coca-Cola they can actually go back to where they started, where they actually have Coke in the actual Coca-Cola. Because that was why they call them Coca-Cola, because they basically had Coke in their Coca-Cola. And all of that, like, tripped out stuff. So that's very tripped out. Very tripped out concept that these that Seattle or Washington is actually implementing with this legalization. He knew. I mean, I had a nasty fork. I had a nasty fork. If he didn't move that night, there he was gonna be in trouble. I had a nasty fork that I would have been able to use. Yeah, I don't like that Knight too close to me like that. Gotta get that dude up off me. But yeah, I knew he was gonna try to do that. I don't like that mark up off me like that. Yep. I've been to Japan many moons ago. Many moons ago, I have been to Japan. No doubt. Yeah. Yeah, I figured he was gonna do that. Figured he was going to make that move. He got to move again, or he got to back up that. He got to back up that. He basically got to move again, or he got to back up that Knight. But yeah, overcoming all obstacles, basically. Overcoming all obstacles, basically. Or he gonna try to jam me up. He gonna try to jam me up. So what I'll do is let's move this up. See how that works. See if what he'll do. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see this. Yeah, that's a good move. Very good move. He got me backed into a corner. He's up 3. Or she's up 3. I don't know. It's crazy. Definitely look like a good player. Let's see what this smart doing. Yeah, she's playing some heavy hitters. Winning. Joined during COVID. Oh, she ain't got that much of a stats, but she ain't really, she ain't really all that. What I'm gonna do is, that's what I'm gonna do. This Knight's definitely a threat. This motherfucking Knight's definitely a threat. And this Queen is a threat too. So what I'm gonna do is, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't like this Knight. Yeah, Japan, man. Japan is definitely a very, very wealthy country. I've been there, and they definitely in sync. They in group sync. very, very much in group sync. Got a lot of philosophies. I talk about Kaizen. That's basically daily self-improvement. Daily self-improvement. Daily self-improvement. Kaizen. She's trying to outthink me. Taking too much time. But sometimes I think I'm too obsessed with success or trying to become, something or whatever of myself. Sometimes I think I just need to focus. Oh, she's got me. He got me. Well, no. I gotta take. She's got me. She's got me. I might have to sacrifice this night because this motherfucking bitch. Cause she got the move right there. I see that motherfucker right there. Let me see here. She got my ass. I gotta motherfucking do something here. Yeah, this bitch got a good one. She got checkmate right there. So this is what I gotta do. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice, motherfuckers. As tough as it may sound, you gotta sacrifice, motherfuckers. So boom, I go there. She goes there. Let me see here. Boom, I go there. She goes there. Or he goes there. I got back up. Now I gotta see how I cleared that motherfucker out. But she still got a 5-point advantage. Now she ain't got no time. Now I gotta. overcoming all obstacles. All obstacles. Yeah, I mean, it's possible, man. I mean, you know, I just had a flash, a light bulb came into my head. You know, basically, it's not easy, but it's a lot of tools, a lot of things that exist that didn't exist in the 1950s, the 1940s. You know, long time ago that is not that is here now that it wasn't in existence back then. You know, you got the internet. I mean, you got a lot of technology that exists today that did not exist 20, 30, 40 years ago. That would make it easier to overcome. I mean, the you know, what do they call it? The 6 degrees of separation because of the internet. Because basically, you could go, you could, I can, I can slide in a celebrity's DM and talk to them. You know, they don't necessarily have to reach me back or contact me back, but I can talk to a rich person, or I can talk to anybody as long as I have their actual account or whatever online. I could talk to them with the click of a button. I don't have to know John that knows Jacob, that knows Paul, that knows um, Serena. You know, I could basically just go contact Serena and be done with it. I don't have to go through Jake, John, and Paul to get to Serena. I can just contact Serena directly. And that makes the 6 degrees of separation down to like almost what? 1, 2, 3, no degrees of separation. That's why it's like they're very difficult for celebrities or, you know, rich and famous people now, because the degree of separation is almost nil. Because if whatever you do, you got paparazzis that follow you. Okay, not only what you used to have to wait for the magazines to post whatever picture on a little gossip magazine, right? You don't have to wait anymore. That magazine is not doesn't, you know, it'll, those pictures will be on the magazine, right? But they'll be online within minutes, within seconds of you going out, let's say, quote unquote, cheating on your wife, or, you know, soon as you get a new love interest, people know within minutes and seconds. As soon as they post that picture online, they know exactly what's going on with you. So it's like, man, I mean, it's very difficult to be a celebrity and to actually live the way you wanted to live. You know, like with all these different, you know, the way basically you really want to get down is very difficult to do that in this modern time with all of this technology and stuff like that, you know. So, I mean, I say that to say basically, you know, I think I need to learn how to not be so hard on myself and not be so focused on, you know, just as if, because see, here's the thing. It's actually rich and wealthy people that have problems getting women, you know. The same approach that I use to get women, I think I should use to other things, and how I attain primarily how I get the successes I've gotten with women primarily was not focusing on them that much, like not zeroing in on them that much, you know, not even really concerning myself with them. Like I literally now have gotten to get. I'm getting women without even so much of effort of like chasing women. I don't chase women. Like I was doing that with my friend a few months back, and I had to remind him. I'm like, dude, I'm not in. We not in high school no more, or not so much high school, but we're not freshmen in college anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to chase women with you, dude. No, man. You know what I'm saying? And the weirdest thing happened, right? Well, I was right because I had to take a step back and I'm like, dude, no, this ain't how this works. You know what I'm saying? No. So he found somebody that he likes, really like, and then I'm pretty much getting women without having to worry about chasing them. I'm not, what I'm saying, necessarily chasing them, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, basically, I'm just basically like, I ain't saying they coming in on my lap, but I'm getting them passively, very passively. I'm not going to a nightclub, hanging out, waiting for I can get a number and actually really, being very aggressive trying to get women. No, I'm getting women very effortlessly, you know. I mean, I just had a little situation a couple of days ago. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, the drought is definitely over for now. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, I'm living life the way I necessarily I'm living life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's I'm living like a movie. You know what I'm saying? But I just want I do want some I want some higher class women. You know what I'm saying? I just desire some higher class women, not necessarily, not rich or whatever. I mean, they don't have to be rich, but you know what I'm saying? Some higher class tier women. That's all. I mean, that's what I yearn for. Some high class, highly feminine women. You know what I'm saying? That's really what tickles my fancy. You know what I'm saying? But I think that I should use that same approach to obtain wealth. I mean, basically just, picking right and basically when I see an opportunity, pounce on it, and that's it. I mean, just, not just focus and dwell on it, because I really don't. But sometimes I think about, damn, another day in America and I'm broke. Another broke day in America. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of thinking of that, just focusing in on that, just basically, just doing what I know need to be done, and then capitalizing on situations and also capitalizing on opportunities. Because what I'm doing now is, you know, I'm going back to forex. I've put forex aside for like some months, for quite a while, right? And I'm going back into forex. I'm going in my forex account, at work and stuff, and what I'm saying, I'm trying to actually get into that as well while I'm doing my Robin Hood challenge and beefing that up. I'm going into forex. I'm going back into forex, and one thing you guys don't probably know about forex is that the forex market is like way bigger than the stock market. Way bigger than the stock market. Okay, it's a huge dragon compared to the stock market. The stock market compared to the forex market is basically, it's like a iguana compared to a dragon. You know what I'm saying? So basically, man, I'm trying to deal with that. I'm trying to deal with how to chart forex, how to, you know, basically just come up with different concepts and how to make some money with it, and get in and get out basically, and basically try to beef up my forex accounts after I learn, because I'm actually trying to learn forex as well, and I beef up my forex accounts and actually try to get it to where I can make some money, who knows? I could basically use forex to utilize that and become, live my dreams and goals and whatnot, and try to, basically use forex and then take that money and then, you know, and use it to other endeavors. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I just gotta not be too hard on myself, but I definitely gotta overcome these obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, at the same time, yeah, I think I'm a little way too hard on myself as well. You know, one of the guys that I pretty much follow is younger guy, younger than myself, Mark Monroe. He said, when you're in a fight, would you punch yourself in the head while you're in a fight? You know what I'm saying? And that's the same concept. Like, I mean, sometimes we so hard on ourselves, we defeat ourselves in our own battles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be confident and you want to stick and move properly, right? When you're in a fight, you don't want to just punch yourself upside the head or be thinking, "Damn, I mean, I'm gonna get my ass beat." Nah. Even if you think it might be very tough, you definitely want to, man. Also put up your best fight. You don't want to, defeat your own self. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm trying to ease up off basically being so hard on myself as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, that's some things that I'm thinking about. But yeah, man, I had a good night. Very very good night. 2-2. That other chick, man, she was kind of raspy, man. She was kind of good, man. She was trying to outthink the broke genius, and no, she wasn't. Broke genius, man, just got some trim. You know what I'm saying, and getting some sleep. Got some sleep. You know what I'm saying. He in his rare form, and he 2-2 tonight. 2-0 tonight. Most definitely. You know what I'm saying. So, uh, yeah. Nah, not tonight. Tonight is the 2-0 night. Because, definitely trying to overcome these obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Definitely trying to overcome these obstacles. And another thing that I remind myself of is, and I have it on one of my future topics, is you gotta be smooth out here. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be real smooth out here. You know, um, it's like an art to it. It's an art to being smooth. A lot of things are basically being smooth. You know what I'm saying? Actually having something that is not so rough. Um, basically, you know, you living your life and it just, basically, it's not so like raspy. Everything flows, like a good car, right? A good car, when you drive it, it's a smooth ride, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a very smooth ride. The tires, you can barely, some of the most highly you know well engineered cars, right? When everything is fine tuned and everything, the drive is very smooth. The tires, you could barely even feel the road. You can't hear the engine. Can't even hear the engine. Sometimes, like, like a Lexus, right? The best cars right now on the road is Toyota and Lexus. Japanese, right? Japanese Toyota, right? So those cars, they're the Lexus, right? The engine is very, very, very very quiet. It's fine tuned. You can when I remember a friend of mine, his mom's boyfriend would give him the keys to the Lexus, and we driving around in the Lexus. Probably why he wouldn't care, but while his mom getting drilled, probably most likely, we in the Lexus, in the engine, man, you could barely hear the freaking engine. You couldn't even hear it, so much so that the actual, you had to turn the car over and crank the engine again because you didn't know the freaking car was on. You didn't even know the car was on because the engine was so quiet. And then when you drive in the car, basically the engine, the road, you could barely feel, the road, like the tires and the steering, is very, very good. Suspension is very quiet. That is a smooth vehicle, right? When you drive a car like that, for the most part, that's probably a good car. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. Like when you got a smooth business, when your business just flows, right? That's how it's supposed to flow. Like it's supposed to flow like a fine-tuned, machine, right? That's how it's supposed to basically flow. That's how that works. You know what I'm saying? That is how that works. So, yeah. That's how that works. Smooth. A lot of women they like smooth guys. Smooth. Walk smooth. Their very mannerisms is smooth. Their whole aura is smooth because they already got it figured out. Like those two games that I play ain't necessarily like I play. A lot of times I've played some smooth chess. I played some smooth chess because I already had a good game plan. My confidence level was on point. You know what I'm saying? I knew what was coming. I knew my opponent, what he was gonna possibly play. You know what I'm saying? It was more smooth. Now, those two games, I got the win, but it was rough. I have to say it was rough. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't necessarily smooth, but I got the win, no doubt. Nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? I got the win. I ain't complaining. I got the win nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't as smooth as I know how to play the game, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna hop up off of here. I just want to get some things up off my bird, and hopefully you got something to listen to, you know what I'm saying, and on the playback, and Yeah, I mean, always like, share, comment, and subscribe.